can't forget about FAANG, and that's one of the things I wanted to bring up was the FAANG conversation. We had mentioned, it must have been a couple weeks, if not over a month ago, we talked about where the attention lies and looking, we're not playing checkers, we're playing chess. We're looking for the next move or 2 or 3 moves ahead. And while everybody's focused on whatever the headlines are, can we figure out what the headline 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month from now? And FAANG pretty much set up perfectly for us.
Yeah.
And FAANG is absolutely on fire, bro. Apple, the story of Apple. We've talked about Facebook sort of led the way. Google led the way. Alphabet led the way.
Yep.
And then now we're seeing Apple have a surge, and I don't think that's runs over. I want you to talk about that move that you think is going to happen. And then lastly, Amazon, which we said obviously did well. Netflix is the only one that's lagged, but I'm actually becoming more bullish on Netflix, and I think the second half of the year is going to be great for Netflix.
Yep.
From a competitive perspective. There's a bunch of reasons why I'm very bullish on Netflix that I'm going to save for a different time.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix is going to have its day. I think it's later in the year, but I think that you're onto something there for sure. Right now, though, it seems to be at the forefront is going to be Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, really all of them except for Netflix at this point. But they've all hit all-time highs except for Netflix. So Apple has yet to hit all-time highs, I should say. It's pretty damn close. 4509 is the all-time high for Apple. It is at 4452. We've seen highs today of around 144.89. So very, very close to all-time highs here. Now with Apple, I mean, I mentioned this in Stockwatch Sunday, Fat Man Zoom, and I had said that, we have earnings coming up and we could very easily see a run into earnings on Apple. We also have the iPhone 13, which is becoming more and more highly anticipated. So lots of times historically, we see a pretty decent run going into the release of that. And then also, just the fact that it's lagged behind the S&P so much. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going for Apple at this point. So we get a break over that 145.09, and we can see something similar that we saw with an Amazon type of move. And these are going to be the leaders going into the next half of the year. I think it's them and energy. It's going to be a foot race to see who actually outpaces the other. But I don't think you can go wrong with being in any of the FAANGs at this point, and that includes Netflix.
Yeah, technically, I mean, we've talked about not to fear all-time highs, and we've seen stocks, and Apple very well could do this. When it breaks the all-time high, that could set it off to continue to run.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. Apple is one where, it's, again, you be patient. I think there's certain stocks, and this may get confusing for some people. There's certain stocks where it's like, why are you hanging on to it? Why are you adding to it? Well, I don't know how, why it would make sense to try to time Apple.
Right.
Right? It's like you get in, as long as you're patient, it'll make its money back. You still scale in strategy. I still believe in scale in strategy. I wouldn't necessarily advise going all in on it. No. But it's one of those where, dips for sure you should be, chomping at the bit for. You should be excited about dips for a company like Apple because they're going nowhere.
I actually read an interesting article this morning about Apple, and just if you had invested $1,000 into Apple at the same time that Warren Buffett bought Apple. Now he unveiled a 9.8 million first quarter purchase of Apple shares on May 16th, 2016. So we bought 9.8 million shares of Apple back in 2016, and has made an insane amount of money. The average price was $27.25, and so. Obviously, right now we're approaching 145. So if you bought $1,000 with Buffett, an investor who chose to buy it on May 16, 2016, you'd be up nearly 600%. The value of that would be $59.54 and 74 cents with a $1,000 investment. So that's crazy, and that's just since 2016.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before about how owning Apple, you literally could just buy Apple and just keep putting money into it, and have the patience and the discipline enough to just continue to put money into it and not worry about it. You're making an average of 30% a year, just about.
Yeah.
Compound that over 30 years. I mean, we're talking stupid money.
Yeah.
Stupid money that you can retire on and feel comfortable living off of for the rest of your life. And so it's crazy. I know we talk about investing in all kinds of stuff, but you literally could just do that with Apple with confidence.
Well, we don't talk about this a lot, but we have our dividend bot.
Yes.
And the dividend bot, we wanted to we wanted it to have some wrinkles in it. And one of the wrinkles is dividends you typically think about as value,
Yeah.
right? Like growth stocks don't really give large dividends, if any dividends. Like a true growth stock won't give dividends.
Right.
And so Apple gives a very, very small dividend, so we figured it qualified. But we added Apple in, not initially, but we did add it in. So the dividend bot purchases Apple, and I think you said your bot got it at like 129 is still in it.
Yeah.
But again, like we added it in not when Apple was in favor and it wasn't looking great, but hell, it's worked out for us, and hopefully people that have the dividend bot should be doing well with Apple.
Yeah, we added it in March, I believe. So I have exposure to Apple everywhere. I have it in my personal accounts, obviously the dividend bot, and I also have it now in the Webull account as well. So it's everywhere for me. I'm still a green bubble, still have the old green bubble phone, but no, I think Apple is still just one of those stocks you just continue to hold on to, and it's just going to continue to deliver. There's no reason to believe that they won't. Earnings every quarter in and quarter out, they just deliver. There's nothing else that you can say about them. And we try to find bearish cases and everything. It's really hard to do that with Apple.
Yeah.